What's up, people? I hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, thank you for stopping by again on my YouTube channel this week. I'm so excited to have you, and I got gist for you. So, I am about to have a very interesting conversation with some of the brilliant minds in the Nigerian fashion industry. Now, if you know me very well, you know I love the Nigerian fashion industry so much because it is my industry. I mean, that is my industry, and I am so passionate about this industry. And another segment on my YouTube channel is Inside NAIJA Fashion, which is what you are watching today. Can I say, welcome to Inside NAIJA Fashion. Inside NAIJA Fashion, we're going to be looking inward, a detailed look inward at the fashion industry, what it is like, and the condition of things, the whole environment of this industry, and where we want to be, and how we hope to be there. So today, which is the first edition, I don't know, I'm just so very excited. I really don't know why, but yeah, I am excited. Oh no, I know why. I love the Nigerian fashion industry. That's why. So today I am having a conversation with some very intelligent and brilliant minds in the Nigerian fashion industry. Stay with me. So welcome everybody, and thank you for taking out time to be part of this, and I really appreciate you all. Thank you. I mean, I cannot thank you enough. So please, can we just meet each other just before we start? So Karina, can you go first?
Hi everyone, my name is Olateju Adedokun. I'm a fashion entrepreneur. Aside from running my own fashion business, I also run a fashion education platform. So the goal is to teach young fashion designers how to run a fashion business, as well as our project now that we are embarking on is teaching young Nigerian designers the technology aspect of fashion design and running a fashion business in general. So we intend on teaching them how to do 3D and pattern making and a lot more, how to use all these softwares to run their fashion business. And yeah, I've recently just moved my fashion business to Paris to start an international brand here, as well as to learn so much more about fashion technology. Yeah, that's all about me.
Nice to meet you. Okay, Mrs. Tolumi.
Hi everyone, it's good to be here. My name is Tolumi Abiola, OYEDIJI. I am a fashion teacher and a fashion designer. I run a brand, Tolumi TFP. The brand is a bespoke and ready to wear, but we have other sub brands, under Tolumi TFP. We have the fashion school, we have accessories by Tolumi, fabrics by Tolumi, and then we also have a bridal line, ever and after bridals. I am a fashion teacher. I'm very, very passionate about fashion teaching. I run a YouTube channel. I'm an author, 2 books, and I've been in fashion for over 2 decades.
Okay, Mrs. Jumoke.
Okay, thank you everyone. My name is Olajumoke SEYE-OYAGBILE. I run 12 Group. It's a company that is into it's a fashion business. So we do different things. I currently run a garment factory. We have a fashion academy. We have different retail lines, and we've been able to do this effortlessly over the years, running different brands by structuring things well. Like I said, I love to do things properly. I believe that I'm a global citizen and I should do things global. That is of standard universally. So, and this I try to teach other business owners, other fashion business owners especially, how they should put structures in their business, how when they do this, they see the transformation that happens in their business. And that's what I've been doing. I consult for different fashion businesses. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Uche.
Okay, hello, good afternoon once again, everybody. My name is Uche Nnaji. I am the founder of a fashion and lifestyle brand called Ouch Lifestyle. Our primary head office is in Lagos, Nigeria. Our vision is to become a globally respected fashion and lifestyle brand. So that vision mission influences everything that we do, right from the creation of our brand identity up until the product, which makes us to come up with the line that if our insignia is on it, then our quality must be in it. Over the years, this has seen us churning out several lines of products. From initially, we were known back in university days. I'll say this year, makes it like 20 years that I've started the fashion journey, maybe not as Ouch, but started the journey from the university. And it was initially known for shirts, became famous for suits. We diversified 11 years ago into shoes, had a bit of setback within months, within the first trial. The guys I worked with in Turkey messed me up then. We stopped the first batch, and 2 years later, 9 years ago, we got the shoe rights, went into shoe full time. There are a lot of other products, ties, and all manner of accessories that we also were known for. But eventually, 2 years ago, that's 2018, we launched our leather, luggage and handbag range for the discerning, stylish individual. And 3 years ago as well, we officially started a little factory back in Lagos, Nigeria, in Lekki to be precise, where we create indigenous pieces for like the kaftans and the shirt. The good thing about the indigenous factory is that 70 to 80% of shirt production is now done in Lagos, as against when we used to make 100% everything in Turkey and in Italy. It's not been a walk in the park, as some of you would also agree for your own businesses. But I'll say that we are striving, and as an individual, I have also seen a vacuum in the Nigerian and West African market. So that propelled me 4 years ago to enroll for an image consulting certificate at Fashion Institute of Technology in New York, where I lived for a while. And I'm still on it. I'm still going to take. I'm still on it. I'm just enjoying school and taking courses every now and then. That's just my life journey. I think I thought.
That's nice.
I thought
Okay, thank you so much, everybody. And okay, so while everyone was talking, I just realized that there's something common in everybody here, and that's the fact that everyone, number one, loves the fashion industry in Nigeria, and everyone is really futuristic and forward thinkers, looking at how you can influence your own space, to ensure that the fashion industry is actually a better place for the practitioner. And really, this is very, very coincidental. I didn't plan it, but for some reasons, everyone here is like-minded. And so I think it's going to make everything here easier and, more productive. So for this event, basically, I would always say that the story of the Africa in its all is a very beautiful and dynamic story. And I really think we haven't done so well, in telling this story very well. Because if we as Africans have told our story very well, probably the world will know that, okay, it's not just a country, it's a continent that has over 54 different, countries and, some are English speaking and some are French speaking, and then, you know, diverse cultures, diverse languages. So here today we want to, you know, talk about this African story from angle, which is the angle of fashion. We are all in the fashion industry. We have all worked in the fashion industry in Nigeria, and we are very familiar with what it looks like. And everyone here is also familiar with the international space in the fashion industry, and we also know what it looks like. So here today, we just want to, you know, look at how our storytelling from the fashion point of view can, you know, change the whole narratives and perspectives, or and the perceptives, sorry, that people have about this fashion industry. So I would just like us to, you know, introduce this fashion industry to our viewers, to people who do not know so much about the fashion industry, or probably people who know about this fashion industry in Nigeria but do not know it so well enough. So I just want us to, you know, what do you think the Nigerian fashion industry is? Mrs. Tolumi, please, can you go first?
Okay, so the fashion industry we have in Nigeria is very interesting. I have had opportunity to work in the fashion industry in some other countries, and I've been able to do I've been able to do a well-assessed comparison among both industries. Now, the fashion industry in Nigeria is just picking up, and it's a growing industry, but it's now fast growing. Because I've been in this industry for well over 20 years, I can say this, I can say this like confidently because I've watched the industry like grow over the years. Um, I am going to be talking about the fashion industry in Nigeria from like two perspectives. Number one, the perspective of the fashion professional, and the perspective of the Nigerian or international customer or client, or yes, I'm going to be talking in those two perspectives. Now, in the first perspective, the perspective of the person who is a professional in the industry in Nigeria, when you tell people, that you are, if you're living in Nigeria, you tell people, oh, you're a fashion designer in Nigeria, you're into fashion. Automatically, once you tell people that you're into fashion in Nigeria, automatically what they are thinking of, you're a fashion designer, you can sew clothes. Because our mentality is, once you're in fashion in Nigeria, you're a fashion designer, you're a tailor. Now, in fact, in the Nigerian industry, the difference between tailor and fashion designing is just the fact that you can speak English. So if you can't speak English, or you're not like posh, or you're not like exposed, you're a tailor. But once you can speak English, you have a car and you're fine, and automatically you're a fashion designer. In fact, some people who are even professionals in the industry, when you call them tailor, they'll say, don't call me tailor, I'm not a tailor, I am a fashion designer, just because they can speak English. That already tells you that even professionals in our industry in Nigeria don't exactly understand what the industry is about. So from the angle of the professional in Nigeria, we are just excited about many people are just excited about the idea that, okay, we can make clothes, we can sew clothes, and then people can wear it and it can look fine. Really. So we are not, most people in Nigeria, we are not exactly we don't exactly have like proper fashion education. I have taught thousands of students, since I started this, and I can say that for sure. Let's start from even our business names. Let's start from even our business names. You will see many people from their names, Ronke Couture, Tola Couture. Everybody just says that. And then when you ask them, what does couture even mean? They cannot tell you exactly what couture is. Many people just tell me, I just like the way it sounds. It just sounds posh. So they just like, it's couture they want, and they don't know what couture means. They're not even doing anything remotely close to couture. You are in Paris, and then I'm glad that we have two people on this panel who live in Paris, and before you can set up, a couture house, there are specific requirements that you must be able to meet. The Paris Fashion Council, they have to assess you and give you the license to be able to use the name couture. So that just tells us, the level that professionals are in the industry. So in terms of professionalism and fashion education in our industry, we don't have a lot of that. But when we talk about talent, in terms of talent, oh my God, the Nigerian fashion industry is amazing. It's explosive in terms of talent. I can say that the talent we have in this country, I don't see many other countries in the world who can match, really. Many countries in the world cannot match. We have so much talent because we don't even have enough. I see other countries, they have so many things and they don't even do like half of what we can do. We do all these things without, enough education. We don't have enough education. We don't have enough, materials. We don't have enough materials. We don't have any of these things, to do what the things we do. Now, I mean, we can just look at a dress from like an amazing fashion designer from like talk about the top fashion designers in the world. Give their designs to Nigerian tailors in code. They will copy verbatim and give you the exact things. They can do it with the fabrics we have it's amazing what some people can do with blackhead. The blackhead, regular blackhead machine. It's amazing. So in terms of fashion education, we don't have a lot in the industry, but in terms of talent, we have a lot of talent. So I just look forward to a time when our education can meet the talent that we have and we can compete, with like fashion capitals of the world. In terms of the customers and the people who are coming to patronize the industry, everybody likes many people like Nigerian fashion now. We cannot talk about the truth is we cannot talk about Nigerian fashion internationally without talking about some people who has put us in that position at the top. I mean, I always talk about Diola Sego. Diola Sego is like one person I look up to in fashion because she's amazing. She's been in this industry for over 30 years and she's still topping it. And she's actually like one of the top people who took Nigerian fashion abroad. I mean, she made amazing things with Ashoke, introduced Ashoke to people across the world. I mean, look, she designed the Komole thing. So we appreciate people like that who have taken what we do, across our borders to show people how much beauty lies in the fashion that we do. And then when we talk about Nigerian fashion, what exactly is our Nigerian fashion? Is it the fabrics or the cuts? We need to think of that, and because we just say Nigerian fashion, and we think, okay, many people just now we just think, oh, we make clothes with Ankara and that's Nigerian fashion. The regular or the what do I call it, what word do I use now, the basic or the classic Nigerian fashion actually should be our indigenous designs made with our indigenous fabrics. Lace is not an indigenous fabric. I hope many of us know that. Lace is not. Lace is like it's an international fabric. Our fabrics are actually the adire, the ashoke. Those are our indigenous fabrics. So the classic Nigerian fashion is making things with our classic fabric. What are our classic cuts? As a Yoruba lady, our classic wear is the Iro and Buba, with the Ipele, Ashoke, and then we have that for other cultures as well. All the other cultures in Nigeria have got like their own indigenous. So the classic Nigerian fashion will be us making these things, in these local fabrics for people across the world. But of course, the world is not a global village. We've got modernization, we've got civilization, we've got so many things. You find Nigerians and Africans in so many parts of the world. We are living in different places, and it's just important for us to be able to adjust and blend in and stuff. So now we have contemporary African fashion. So we still try to put a touch of African fashion in things that we do, even though we're wearing contemporary cuts. That's why, we wear a top that's like a contemporary cut. It's like maybe an English cut, and then we use Ankara fabrics with it because we want to have a touch of Africa to it. So that's like the current African trend, and then you'll see that all over the world, many people have accepted African fashion. You see all the superstar, everybody wants to wear African because it's so beautiful, it's so rich. Our fabrics are so fantastic. And if you look at the recent trends now, you will see that we can have African prints in all types of fabrics now. So you can have African prints on silk, you can have African prints on crepe, on stretchy fabrics, on all fabrics, which makes things more diverse. So we are not stuck to just using cotton. We can now, do anything, we can now put African prints in all these fabrics and all that we have. From the point of the client, which I was going to talk about, for African fashion, the truth is, even though the industry is growing so fast and people are beginning to appreciate it, I believe people still need to appreciate African fashion more and warm up to it more. For instance, we don't have any high street brand that's strictly African fashion. That's maybe like, how do I explain this? For instance, we have them top brands. I may not. Okay, I'm just gonna say Zara, like a retail brand. We don't have any African brand that does African pieces or contemporary African pieces that's like a huge or successful, retail brand like that. And I think we need to have, more of that. That's when we'll begin to really appreciate, the gains from this industry, because many of us, we have put a lot of work into this industry, and we're just trying so much, to get to the peak of, what we can do in the industry. So I think we need to be able to think of things like that, so we can actually be like entirely global. For instance, look at the population of people that we have in Nigeria, and many of us, we still need to shop from international brands before we can buy things as simple as jeans, denim, leggings, underwear, all this kind of thing. So I think for the consumers, we as designers, we need to explore all those areas as well. You also find out that many people who are even Nigerians, they tend to pay more for international brands and pay less, to Nigerian designers. And I think that's because, many of these people don't appreciate us enough, but we're growing, the industry is growing and fast growing.
Yeah. Okay. So I was going to ask, looking at the fact that, some people prefer to buy and pay more for international brands other than paying, that same amount for local brands. Mrs. Olajumoke, why do you think that is so in Nigeria, like in the fashion industry? We're still trying to look and understand our industry now. Why do you think that is so?
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, fashion industry in Africa is very unique. Like, African fashion is very unique. It's such a different one. And I wrote it down in my notes that there's different things that has influenced our fashion, our taste, the fashion industry in Nigeria, different things. It stems from taste, from culture, from globalization, economics and politics. They are just different things that has influenced our fashion industry. One, I remember growing up from my part of the country. I'm from the Yoruba part, and we wear something you call kijipa. Those are the things that our grandfathers and grandfathers wore. They wore something you call kijipa. It's something. In those days, you see them use hands to stitch those things together when there was no machine, when there was nothing. They did their own fashion by themselves, They created something and wore. They tied their gauge. It was a different thing. Different things. And, I say this, that Nigeria is a growing country. So the same reason why the fashion industry is also still growing. No company is at its peak in Nigeria. Everybody is still growing. Yeah, a lot have grown faster than the other because fashion in its sense is an informal sector. We have not been able to I know we are still going to get to that, but we have not been able to put it together like a proper structured industry. You see, it's because now we are interested in fashion. The likes of us that went to school and we know we are going to do fashion. we want to fashion and use that fashion to change our world, you know. Apart from people like us, initially when we started, people respect, I mean, in those days of our grandfather, I wasn't there. I met my grandmother, of course, I met my grandparents, but then all those great grands, I'm sure when they were doing tailoring, nobody was looking down on them. Nobody was talking bad about them, because some other people were farming. Some other people were, everything around that time was informal, literally almost everything. And then when we began to evolve, we evolved into, oh, okay, this person has gone to school, you finish from school, you go to work with government. By that time, then they began to look at, oh, you didn't go to school, you are doing tailoring. That's why you can do tailoring, because you cannot work in government sector, you cannot work in a bank, you cannot do this, you know. And that continued until it degenerated so much that if they want to talk bad about you, they say, or if your parents feel you are not doing well in school, they tell you, go and learn tailoring, go and learn hair making, go and learn something, because that is how it was evolving. Until some people came out and say, see, fashion is beyond me learning how to sew and just sewing. So it took some few people to say, I've seen beyond the shores of Nigeria. I've gone outside, I've seen some things, and I feel it is what I can do in Nigeria. We can change the game. We can transform it. Just the way we are talking now, just the way we see that, okay, there's still something that is wrong. So imagine the problem those people had in those days. Imagine the problems that the likes of the Olateju were facing in like 30 years ago. If we are talking about this right now, so imagine what their challenges would be. Nobody would understand. Why? I mean, even me, by the time I finished service and I was going to fashion school, it was so expensive. And my parents were like, you must be joking. Like, my friend, go and work, or you go and do, because, well, this is what I've been doing from school. And I just wanted to take it, because I see it takes somebody who sees far to just go ahead and follow through. And for being able to get people, right, who will believe in what you do is easier these days. So a lot has changed in the Nigerian fashion industry. We are growing, and we are growing because Nigeria is still a growing country. We will not say, there's no way we will not keep having problems about how people perceive fashion in Nigeria. What we need to do, what I have not been able to see well, is the fact that a very few people are bringing out our ashoke, very few, to make retail wears. You see people in France, in the UK, in the US, make something from our own prints and buy, you know, and sell. And that is also because the mentality is still changing. You see a lot of people who are ready in Nigeria to spend a lot of money on ashoke. That's why people can pay a lot for Sego's pieces. And they will not, they don't mind, they can pay a lot. And the same set of people will buy something very expensive from Gucci or somewhere else, because they believe in this brand. It is us, you and I, that are going to be able to build this and say, see, our culture is rich, right? The things that our parents wore, the things that our grandparents wore, can we bring it back? Can we use it to make something, to create a change in the industry? If you are talking about the culture of the country, it is really, really rich. Do you see, when they say, okay, sometimes you mass produce for schools, we must produce, let's say, outside costume. And when we do that using teru. I'm telling you. So, you know, that is somebody's fabric. That is a fabric that we use. We use that, and you see, it comes out really beautiful. And you're wondering, why do we use this to just do practicals? That's what a lot of people use in fashion schools. Use it to do things, you use it to lay, to cover, and people even talk it down. And that is our fabric. So it will take one person to bring out that fabric, or a set of people to bring out that fabric, create a richness out of it, and people begin to believe in it. And you know what? One of the things that I said has affected our country is globalization. The fact that you can just pick your phone and check and see what they are wearing in the US, they are wearing in the UK, and then you want to be like, wait, if somebody in the UK picks our teru and do something dramatic with it, every other person is going to jump on it and then want to do it. So we are the one that are going to communicate our culture using all those our rich fabrics. And if you can't find, you can create something that looks like it. Go like sometimes I just go old school. I Google, I go back in years. I Google 1908 fashion, 18 something fashion in Africa. What were they wearing? What were they not wearing? I mean, that was all the time that there has been crop tops, you know. So what are we doing? We are the ones that are going to create the culture. We are the ones that are going to project it. And we should start doing beyond wanting to be like the foreign people. If we, of course, they are more global. We are going to think like them. We are going to keep moving like them because Nigeria is growing. We should be growing and keep growing our culture. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry, I would like to add something to that question. I'd like to add something to that question you asked. I think another reason why a lot of people would prefer to buy brands outside Nigeria than brands in Nigeria is also because of the level of expertise. So for a very long time, if you pick a dress that was made in Nigeria, you see the difference in quality. So people would rather spend a lot of money buying things abroad because they believe that the quality is going to be better. Sorry, they believe that the quality is going to be better. So in terms of quality, people would rather buy things abroad. Now it's getting so much better because people are learning, thanks to Instagram and the like, social media, people are learning to make things better. People are learning to make their products more premium. That's one, as well as also the value that is associated with the brand. So for example, people are still going to buy Nigerian brands that they feel that have a value attached to it. So the reason why, if we understand the reason why people buy things, I think it will better position us to market our brands in that way. So a lot of people buy things because, not because of just the product itself, because of the value that is attached to that product.
To
so
the brand.
I
know that if I buy that bag, people, yes, people
I
are
agree. I
going
only
to
know that.
believe that I have money because I'm buying the Hermes bag.
Exactly.
So I feel like if we can position our brands to have much more value than just the product itself, I think people would want to pay more, people want to buy more of our products, and people are now doing that, and they are making sales and they are seeing sales. Even like smaller fashion designers, just not only bigger brands. Even smaller brands are learning to position their products as more than just products, and they're getting more people to buy.
You see, that's why for me, I said it is linked. It is linked. So for the people who went to school, for the people that went out, that have seen differences. Look at out, for example. Oh, you see, Nigeria. We believe we're raised to be timid, kind of. That's why you don't. That's why a regular person does not want to wear a rambuba, because you feel less of yourself once you wear that. You feel you don't want to market yourself because you feel let me not be on people's faces. I don't want to be. We were raised like that. It's a cultural thing. So it is you and I. That's why I said we are growing. So did you and I who have gone out to learn, who have gone out to see, we are the ones that will communicate to other people. See, you will not sell if you don't position your brand. You will not sell if you are not doing well. You will not sell if you don't do it excellently. You will not sell. You're just going to be there and be poor doing fashion. Meanwhile, some few people are packing the bulk of the money. I can tell you there are a lot of people in Nigeria that are making 6 figures daily from fashion business. So what are we talking about? It is
I was going to ask,
growing.
Okay. So I was going to say as well that I agree with what Karina said. You know, branding is very important. Many times, the reason why someone will pay 5,000 naira for an outfit and gladly pay 500,000 for the same outfit, same fabric, you know, from another, is just branding, packaging. It's very important. We cannot overestimate the effects of branding. There are times I've gone into Arrods. I'm sure we all know Arrods. There are times I've gone into Arrods and I've seen Ankara sheet dress. Ankara sheet dress, I have the fabric. They could have used maybe 2 yards to make a simple short dress. The fabric will cost maybe 1,500. If it's a high brand, maybe Velisco, it can't cost for the 2 yards. It can't cost more than 10,000 naira. You know, put stones on it and all of that. I've seen simple shift dresses sell for as much as 700 pounds in Arad. One simple shift dress. But many people would gladly go to Arts and buy from Arts. Now for me, when I talk about this, it's not exactly about how much you sell. It's about the kind of brand you want to build. For instance, if you're an high-end brand, of course, for high-end brands don't have as many people buying as maybe medium or low-end brands, right? If you're an high-end brand and you want to sell each piece 6,000, maybe £6,000 or £1,000, we should be able to package your brand, such that when people see it, they'll be able to pay for it. Like once they see it, they know that there's value attached to it. And then they know that, okay, the branding goes, so apart from the value, apart from people just seeing the dress and saying, the dress is not neat. Even if the dress is neat, if the dress is everything, if the branding is not right, they still will not pay for it. So basically the branding is just very important. Even if you're a low-end brand and you're selling the clothes 3,000, if you have not done your branding well, people will still think that 3,000, can I pay 500 naira for it? So branding is very important. Whether you're a low-end brand, high-end brand, you just need to, just like you said, position your brand, let people understand the brand, and let people know. For instance, many people buy, low-end brands. Many people buy it. And many low-end brands, do you know that Primark makes more money than many high-end brands? Primark, they make so much money. There is no day you go to Primark that is not packed. So basically you just need to understand what you want to do and then do your branding well.
Yeah. I was going to ask Mr. Uche. Oh, okay, you're going to say something, sir. Your mic, unmute your mic.
Please go ahead and ask. Go ahead and ask.
Okay, so I was going to ask, we've all spoken about professionalism, the brand positioning, and everything that makes up the perception of a customer concerning the product that will influence them to buy, right? So now my question is, you know that in Nigeria there are so many fashion businesses. In fact, so many. In a street, you can see about 20 different fashion designers. Or let's just use Mrs. Tolumi's words, tailors. So many of them. And, for that kind of number, you would expect that, okay, at least the fashion industry in Nigeria should work more than it's, producing right now. But still, there's still a huge gap in professionalism and, what it's bringing in. So what do you think, how can this change in Nigeria? What can we do to, put the right picture in place now?
All right. Thank you for the question. And I want to say that we've all spoken. I mean, you've all spoken quite insightful, and I've learned some things. But to answer the question that you have posed, while we spoke, one of the things that I was able to, that I picked up and kept coming to my mind, maybe more like two things that I want to, talk about. Let me make it three things. Can I just make it three things?
Go ahead.
Okay. So the first thing is poverty. Poverty being our purchasing power. You guys know I'm not an economist, so I won't go into this, but you know what I'm trying to say. Look at us, look at the world now, look at the US, the UK, arranging palliatives for their citizens and even non-citizens. I have my boys in Italy that, got money. They are not citizens. They are just in Italy, They are just in Italy doing cargo work and all those things. They got money. But us here, you can see, for those of you that are in Nigeria and those of you that are informed with Nigerian news, you can see what is happening. So with poverty being a serious concern, it should the Nigerian fashion designer, entrepreneur, and everybody in that value chain must tell themselves a particular truth. And that truth is, where do I want to play? So we can all identify the luxury market and the mass market.
Exactly.
In Nigeria, still because of poverty that has plagued from the eras of the light tailors, the Olategos came in up until now. Poverty that can I don't know how many people can boost people that pride themselves as luxury brands or try to charge luxury in Nigeria that use threads like um, Gotterman thread, for example. The Gotterman thread is what the luxury Italian tailors, even the Tom Fords, all
Yeah.
use. I mean, I have a few of them here that I buy when I go out. So when people cannot use the right ingredient, I don't know how to, explain it with food. But what I'm trying to say is that even when people say they are doing luxury, they are unable to afford the right ingredient that really makes that meal luxury. That is what happens to us here. And you say most of those people probably don't have any business saying luxury, luxury. In Nigeria, I believe, and I think that's where. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Okay, so I think where we're having the disconnect in Nigeria is determining where to play in that spectrum. In that spectrum, as I said, the mass market and the luxury market. There is no middle point. Let's not deceive ourselves. It's a continuum, but unfortunately, that continuum in the middle does not exist in Nigeria. Why doesn't it
Thank you.
exist? Why doesn't it exist that the mass market, people that can afford mass market, people that their economy is at the bottom of the pyramid, they want to wear what the elite is wearing. So I go to China. I was in China sometime last year. I was trying to place order for certain items, and somebody took me to a market. It was unbelievable. After that market, when I went to a particular area again, the whole street, you see Africans everywhere. You see how these guys, Africans, just line up. For those of you that have been to China before, if you've gone to some place in Guangzhou where they have the Downtown Hotel and all that, you see them lined up and all patronizing copy fake items. So the people, if you're African, you're saying, no, you want something that they do for European standard or the UK. They are looking at you, for example, no, look at what your people are buying. And now, why I've said that is because these guys that you guys are talking about that they make six figures daily is not a lie. Go to Upper Iweka, go to Lagos Island. It's not a lie. When you see those guys changing dollars, you would shake a little bit when you see
Seven
the kind of
figures.
sales they make. Yes, most of you know this. And who are the people patronizing them? The people at the bottom of the pyramid. The people
Sure.
at the bottom of the pyramid that you would expect that the Nigerian designer would cater for. But now, the Nigerian young designer that did not start business with, that did not average, doesn't even start business with $10,000. Average. That's over 50% of people in fashion don't start. I started with 2.5 in university. I traveled abroad for the very first time with less than $3,000. Who does that if it's not mad people? You guys understand? So the Nigerian designer or person in fashion need to understand where they want to play. So the guys in the open market that did not go to school like us and speak a lot of grammar like us, they've used their as they'll say, common sense to understand the society, to understand the purchasing power of the people, and then they're
Thank
playing
you.
in that space. Why I say there is no middle point is why copy flourishes. So instead of a Yahoo boy or a girl that wants to buy a gift for a guy to buy an out shoe that was made in Italy for 75,000 naira or 100,000 naira, 200,000 naira, they would rather use 75,000 naira to buy a copy Gucci. Hello, they would rather use 75,000 naira to buy a copy Gucci for their boyfriend.
It's a
Ladies,
mentality.
yes. So there's a continuous improvement of neocolonialistic tendencies in the mind of the African. That the African, the Nigerian in particular, just feel that, or the elite has sold that mindset, and this is deliberate. Not only is it deliberate, we are also guilty, and then the artisans are guilty. We've talked about the things that they are able to do with little or no resources. But at the same time, the last thing I want to point out is how exalted the ignorance of the African has become so arrogant. the ignorance of the Nigerian, it's on another dimension, not level. Look at the choice of my words. Dimension. It's shocking to see people that don't agree that they don't know, and they argue over it. So they are no what. Who are we turning out from Yaba Tech? Who are the lecturers at Yaba Tech that put through? So I have somebody head of my factory now. He worked at Yaba Tech and graduated. He was a Yaba Tech graduated 5 years ago. 5 years ago, dude is just coming. I didn't go to Yaba Tech. I don't know how to sew. I don't know all the technical thing, but because of things I read on YouTube and hands-on on the job, I'm the one showing this guy direction on some things. He knows a lot of technical stuff, but you expect that somebody that went to Yaba Tech and has worked for 5 years with other brands in Lagos, Nigeria, would know certain things. So we abhor education, knowledge. We put knowledge like this. We rather want to slay, especially the people in fashion. The likes and comments have replaced the quest for knowledge. If we keep having this discussion and talking like this, pointing out these things that we can do better without addressing root causes, it would be tantamount to us just having a tea party. Unfortunately, there's no tea here. We're not drinking tea. But these conversations must continue. We must hold this conversation. We must be deliberate and very intentional about them, because the Nigerian fashion industry, as far as I'm concerned, there's no industry. First and foremost, let's be factual with that. Somebody said earlier on that I was guilty of the couture thing as well. That was like up until 3 years ago when we changed the name to Arts Lifestyle. Yes, I just wanted couture. It sounded good. It sounded nice. It was in my body, thinking. It was sounded bougie, it sounded bougie. So it is appalling to see that in 2020, 2019, people are on the entry level and they're still making the same mistake because they don't want to embrace knowledge. Knowledge is out there. Knowledge is what we are doing. Knowledge is on the internet. But no, as long as the person has 500,000 followers, the person has 70,000 followers. So the person uses that to misconstrue what is the real stuff. You see people still in the industry. You have stylists. You see design. You see people that make things. I look at things. For me, as a student of color, I mean, I have done a little bit about color, and even as I'm taking photography courses now online, I can see the benefits of color. People ask me how are you able to edit certain kind of pictures in just 2 weeks of taking these classes. I just remember, my classes in color. The things that were taught about color, you're able to put it elsewhere. But I look at people make garments and put out. I look at the color combination, certain things that they've done, like, but this person has 100,000 followers on Instagram. Oh. This person seems to be celebrated and all. How come you don't understand that this color? I know art doesn't have walls. Let's not miss. I know art doesn't have walls, but they are big part of that challenges of not being schooled and not embracing knowledge is that the Nigerian fashion designer, the Nigerian stylist, Nigerian young person in the creative fashion ecosystem space just think that they can break rules. But what they fail to understand, even though art is very fluid and not rigid, is that before you can break any rules successfully, you must understand it. So these are the narratives, these are the discussions that we need to start putting out there, sharing with our friends and telling them that, see, guys, we know Sabio, make we go school. Let's spend time on the internet. Let's read. The fashion reports are out there from January to March before the Corona lockdown. Global sales, global fashion sales in Europe declined between 5 to 20%. In the US, 25 to 40%, and in China, 15%. There about 15% decline. In Africa, who put Africa there? Nobody mentioned Africa because we're people that don't like data. We're people that don't like data. Do you guys understand? We're people that don't like data. We don't keep record, nothing. Nobody is mentioning Africa. No voice is speaking for Africa. But when it comes to like, comments, Instagram, we are there. This cannot lead us to that promised land that we all anticipate, that we all look for, that we want. As Karina, yeah, you talked about the willingness. A few of you have also touched it about the willingness of Nigerians to pay 5,000 naira for a dress is an issue, but they will gladly pay 50,000 naira or more for the same material, for foreign counterparts. So, ladies, people pay for value, and that value, if it's for the mass, if it's for the mass market,
Yes.
what is the purpose? Is going to cover my body to make me look okay. That's the reason why they also pay for copy, so that it will make them look as if they are like those people that live in Lekki, Fiswa, and Ikoyi, and Banana, right? Then, secondly, for those that still go to people like Diola Segu, or those that stay on brands like Dior, Chanel, Hermes, LV, and the likes, they are paying for feeling. That's what we need to understand. It's a feeling that people are paying for, brand association. They are paying for brand association. They're not paying for clothes. I had a product, and we have another product like that as well, that we put out there,
Exactly.
lady, because we positioned it the way we were advertising. The first time the bag came out, I took it to Turkey. Yes, I took it to Turkey 2 years ago. I flew business class. I went from Turkey to Napoli. I took that bag on a tour. From the aircraft, I was taking pictures of this bag in certain ways. On the streets, hotel I was taking pictures of this bag in certain ways because I wanted to appeal to a particular mindset.
Yeah.
The luggages sold out like 3 different times. And when I say sold out, units of 20 pieces anytime the factory is repeating it. And this is a luggage of 450,000 naira. Who would have $1,250? Who would have believed a Nigerian brand? A Nigerian brand, Nigerians will buy it, and people from all over the world. It's because people were buying brand association. They were buying a feeling.
Exactly.
Okay. So now people when they fly business class, when they go abroad, they carry this kind of bag now. Okay. The bag inside business class. So you guys yeah, but it's the truth. It's the truth, and it works like magic. So the Nigerian person in fashion business must, and as we've all agreed, that market is very thin. That part of the pyramid is very thin. We must agree where we want to play as entrepreneurs, where we want to play, because if we don't agree, the system and the country will keep being in a nebulous place where we don't know if we are attending to the mass market at the bottom of the pyramid, which, as you said, your Primax, your Zara, your Top Shop, your H&M, those guys make billions. As against the Ralph Lauren, the Zara, the Antolinis, the Cesar Paciotti, all those names that are just there for as heritage brands. I think I've talked too much. I don't. I think I've talked too much, and you guys didn't have tea at this Zoom meeting.
We enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah, thank you so much. We enjoyed a lot, and I also picked a few things, and I totally agree with many of the things you've said. I think a summary from what you said, which I really do agree with, is number one, for us. I truly agree that we don't have an industry, so to say. We do not have an industry, so to say,
Exactly.
because an industry
No
is
structure.
structure, and because there is no structure, we can't have an industry. That's why when you look at fashion capitals of the world, there's no space for Africa. There's no space for Africa. It's just so sad. I think one thing that is needed in this industry is fashion education. People need to know, because you can't build what you don't know, and many people actually do not know. So I think the first thing is people need to know. We need to find how can we make people know, because if we have more people who think
Exactly.
like us, who see the things we see, you can imagine if we have like 200, fashion creatives in Nigeria that are like us. I mean, we can push the industry. So I think fashion in education is very important. Even if we have a lot of people think like us, the government will take us serious. So I think,
I was even about to push a question out, from where
yeah.
what you're saying, as well as what
Okay.
Mr. Uche just said,
Yes.
the fact that we do not have an industry, and then the structure. So, like, what exactly? Like, I understand that we have is it Fadan? No,
Yeah, there is Fadan. Yeah,
That's
there is
actually more for
Fadan.
textile, not for like fashion design
No,
or
no.
the
Fadan is
fashion
actually
industry.
no. Fadan is actually for fashion designers.
yeah.
But you see, in Fadan, there is a lot of politics going on in Fadan. There's a lot of politics, and Fadan itself is not like structured enough. Fadan can do better. Fadan is not structured enough. You know, he also said something. If we want to, like, one of the foremost centers, like when it comes to like proper universities in Nigeria, is Yabatech. Everybody in fashion knows that. But who are the lecturers in Yabatech? That's the question. What do they know? How many
Don't
people
even
have the
start.
amount of
Don't even
knowledge?
start.
Do you
Some
understand?
of their students have been to my place and they are zero.
Okay, so I mean, and that's the center that's supposed to be the best place in Nigeria, and they are the ones in charge of Fagan.
Yeah.
Do we think Fagan can take us to where we want? I don't think so. So I mean, we just need to have a structure. I don't know how that structure. I mean, I would expect the kind of people that we need to build a structure are people who have like changed the narrative in the industry. We don't need someone in Fadan. You know, the people in Fadan are largely people from Yabatech. It's very political. You know, I'm sorry to say, but Fadan is quite political. I will expect people like Jolatego to be like on the front line of people. If we have a structure, we should have people like that. People who have done it, people who have been there, people who have started, I expect people like that. They understand and know what we want in this industry.
If you ask me, I would say that no one should start a fashion business without being endorsed by a body
Yeah, yeah,
in
But
Nigeria.
because we
exactly.
don't have a structure,
Because
but because we don't have a
See,
structure in
we don't
Nigeria,
have a
who is going
structure.
to do the endorsements? When it comes to normal businesses, it's okay to do that. But we're talking about the creative industry. The creative industry is a very different type of industry. You know, it's not like the regular thing. If you're in the creative industry, you must have knowledge about a part, of what you're doing, which is the creativity is the most important part. You can't just open and not have knowledge and just have people who create for you. Because those people, what if they leave after 1 year? What if they leave after 2 years? Do you start again? What are you building your brand on? You need a bit more than just employing people to handle everything. You must have
okay,
like
so
a level yourself.
sorry, what I was trying to say is there are some times that you will you invest in a business and put people who were trained in fashion to be there. Now, let's use a bank as an example. If you want to employ anybody in fashion in bank, when they employ, you employ different segments. You employ customer service, you employ parts,
HR, yeah,
yes, HR,
marketing.
are just different
Teller,
types
internal
of
control,
thank
all of
you.
them. Mm.
You employ different segments and then you train them based on that aspect they are going to be managing for the
Yes,
business.
yes.
See, I know a person. I can tell you, one of my friends. I'm in different groups of fashion designers, and I'm in a particular group of manufacturers. And I can tell you, some of these people, it's not everybody that went to a fashion school. I learned how to sew. I did this, I did that, but they are doing excellently well in this business. Being a business owner, for me, I'm a fashion business owner. But I went to learn fashion, right? I know the core of the business. But it's not everybody. It's not necessarily having to know everything. Some people don't know the core of this business and they are making a lot of money. They are
Yeah,
cashing out
yeah,
every time.
Yeah,
And it is because they understand brand positioning. They understand structures. They
they
understand
understand the
system.
business.
So yes, they understand business generally. Most of the people who are currently there, they just want to have the name. Forget the name. I want to make money. The name will follow the money eventually. For me, that is it. Because you are able to use your money to influence and do some things that are going to eventually give you the name that you want. But these people want to, I am the something of this. If you want to partner with an out, for example, out might say, oh no, I want out to be only me, to be bearing my name and bearing my name forever. I want to be the only thing. But in some settings, you cannot start a company without, you see, all those business owners, they are the ones that will put a board over them. They are the ones that have advisory board, apart from the board members, the main board members. They are the ones who will will do everything. By the time, you know, I didn't start doing all of that, but by 5 years into my business, I put the board in place, put that in place. I kept improving and improving it. There are people out there who are actually doing all of that, but there might not be so many, right? For a very long time, I kept wondering, what am I doing wrong? What's not? I'm growing, right? But it's not. Personally, I've grown like this, and the business is like this, and I keep wondering what's going on. One thing was just missing. I wasn't doing sales and market. I was not doing that. I was not there. You know, I would just look, okay, but I'm doing every other thing. But that particular thing is missing. And if you don't have a proper structure, you won't even know what is missing. Because you are the CEO, you are the one that is right there and creating the designs. The job of a CEO is for you to create a vision for the company and help every other person on that your board follow through. Let everybody on. I've not sat on the market so in weeks, in years rather. Currently, work is going on in my factory right now. We produce 5,000 minimum 5,000 masks a day. We're currently doing that. And I'm here having this meeting. I wouldn't dare this years back, because once I leave, everything is in shambles before I return. You know, but right now, all of that has changed.
Down to fashion education.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
fashion
education and fashion education
because people don't even know.
Some people are mixing it up. It's not just about, oh, you come and learn how to sew. For people who come to my academy, I don't just teach them how to sew. You learn how to sew. You learn how to run your business owner. You can be a part. You can be any other thing. You can be a marketer in fashion business. You can be a merchandiser. You can be a visual merchandising person. You can be You can be a tech person like Shiju. You can be anything else apart from being the business owner. Like I want to be the one that makes all the money. This is where we all get it wrong, and then that's why a lot of people are struggling. That's why there's a lot of struggles, because they are not seeing, they can't understand it.
I think it's just because, see, many people, one of the things I realize in the industry is many people will just, there's a trend in Nigeria. Once there is a business or when there is a field that's booming and is doing well, everybody wants to move to that same sector and do the same thing, which is
boils down to the fact that we are growing.
So because fashion designing is now tuition plus, everybody wants to do it without exactly understand how the business should work, what should happen, what you should do. So they just quickly go to a fashion school. People come and say, can I quickly do it for 3 months? Can I do it for 6 months? They just do immediately. They finish. They have a name, they have and then they just think, so many of those people don't have enough education. Like you said, fashion education is beyond just cutting and sewing. There's so much to learn, and if you're educated, you see that even if you go to fashion school, I went to London College of Fashion. If you go to fashion school, you see that there are so many aspects of fashion that's not been explored in Nigeria. You don't even need to be a fashion designer. There are so many areas where you can be cutting out
fashion industry.
Yeah, there's so many. So you just need to, you just need to understand your strengths and know what to do. And also, she said many people in Nigeria, because you don't understand structure, they want to do everything. When I started, I thought I was the best, that nobody could do things better, than I could. So I will be the one. I must go and shop the fabrics myself. I must do all the finishing myself. I must cut myself.
We know your type.
You spoil the clothes. You don't understand. Like, customers must fit when I'm there. But hey, we have 3 branches now. I mean, now, if not for lockdown, I would have started the UK branch already. I only visit branches once a month. That's the best I can do. And now I'm only going to be visiting Nigerian branches maybe once in 2 months or once in 3 months. Now we have a structure in all our branches. We have people. I mean, we have a total staff strength of over 40 people. So these people are working every day. I don't need to be there. I mean, how many customers fabrics will I touch? How many ready to wear will I patterns? So I have trained these people now. So there's a structure. So like when I started, I didn't know these things because even at that time, I didn't have formal training. I know everything, so I can advise people like before you can just make understand structure, have proper fashion education. just that's just I think that's just I think that's just the thing in a nutshell. Have
Yeah.
proper fashion education, know how things should work, understand business. Like I was working for so many years and I was struggling. I was struggling to even have money for myself. Like I didn't even have enough to feed at the end of the month. And the year I understood business, I made my first million. The very year I understood business, and I've been working really hard for years, or maybe like 4 5 years without even anything to show for it. But the moment I began to understand business, I made my first million, and then it's just been going up since then. So with everything that we have said, I'll just say for me, the conclusion for me is fashion education, proper fashion education, whether formally or informally. If you're going to learn on YouTube, if you're going to get resources, on Google, if you're going to, whatever, just get proper fashion education. Yeah.
So
So
Business
you said you're doing
education.
I'm going
fantastic.
Business.
5,000 masks every day. That's amazing. That's amazing.
I'm
Well,
going to please.
Thank
Can
you.
I can I can I say something?
Of course, of course,
yeah.
Can I say something?
of course.
And that is first I want to Jumoke Olajumoke for what you said earlier. You talked about the individualism that has reigned supreme in the Nigerian in business. Last week I had two people in the industry, Maya Kafu and Yomi Kajo. I had them on my live session. I posed the question. Esther might remember one of them, and that question I asked was, would you be ready? What did you do? So I asked the question of do you regret starting with your name? If you could change it, do you think you can still change it if you have opportunity? I asked that question, but another one that I discussed with Mai was, are you open to collaborations? I've been asking that question like 4 years now. Are you open to collaboration? So Jumoke and every other person listening, if in the next 1 month, let's say 6 months, tidying up paper and everything, I see a Tony Elumelu or some investors come and say, four of you, five of you, we want to merge you, this is your position, this is your position. And I know that instead of me working towards out being 10 billion, having 10 billion before I'm 50, and before I'm 50, I'll probably be looking like 60. I would rather cash out. I would rather cash out 2 billion, 2 billion from a conglomerate of one fashion brand, one name. The out name, my dear,
And be
let me take
frosh.
it now.
Of
It
course, yeah.
means nothing. It means nothing, absolutely nothing. Because I got to a place in my life 5 years ago, and I started looking for a successor. This thing started staring me in the face. That okay, what happened? You hit 35. What happens in the next 10 years? Like, who are you grooming? It's like dawning on me that we criticize Nigerian businesses that have been before us to say we are not building generational businesses, but we are making the same mistakes.
The
So people
same
want to
mistake.
answer. People want it to be about them, and then also on the flip side, it still goes down to the first thing I pointed out: poverty. So when out started becoming a known name and all that, I started talking about investors and all. Some people that love you, that were coming with you from the village, will start telling you that this thing that God has blessed you with that you have built, you want to now bring other people inside. Do you guys understand? It's still
Yeah,
Ah,
because you
about
very
don't
well.
understand business.
still about
I
it's still
am, I
about
am. Okay.
so imagine if Otedola's second daughter, the girl that does fashion, Jake Fashion, imagine if she really says what she wants to do is fashion, and she wants to do it the way her sister is doing music, but rather she wants to do it the way you have the desires and the rest outside there. See, that girl will just be a figurehead, eh? The father will move people from GT Bank. The father will move people from fashion brands from all over the world. You will see them raise 20 billion or 10 billion naira, and she will set up a fashion brand with production hub in Ibejuleki or Via or anywhere, and they will run fashion business the way it ought to be run, like a bank in Nigeria. Poverty
Thank
before this
you.
education, eh?
Exactly.
Our
People need to
economy
understand.
is
People need to understand business.
So I think we should start rounding up because of our time. I was going to say that. So I think we have really established the fact that we need fashion education in Nigeria. Like it's actually very, very important. But when we're talking about fashion education in Nigeria, is there a way an individual can set up a fashion school that can, hit all these nails on the head? I mean, like everything we have been talking about, the whole education thing and everything here. Is there a way that can happen?
That can definitely happen. I mean, and I can say that for sure because I've been running TFP Fashion School for several years now. It just all about structure. Number one, the person needs to understand what the industry needs, what the students need, and get the best hands to do it. So it may not be something you'll be able to do in 6 months if you don't have, a lot of resources. If you have resources, you just need to get professionals from everywhere. I mean, we have universities owned by individuals. So why can't we have like a proper fashion college that's been set up that's run by individuals? That can definitely happen. And I can tell you that there are a lot of people.
Sorry, can I add something?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I add something? So I feel like the real problem is structure. So even the fashion schools that we have in Nigeria at the moment are currently not properly structured.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about running a fashion school that would actually give us what we actually need, that means we are thinking of it like a tertiary institution. And for you to have a tertiary institution, there's a lot of benches that you need to mark. So there's a lot of things that you need to do. It might not even be one person. It might call for collaboration. So yes, I'm not saying the government is going to have to do it. Of course, the fashion school that I'm currently in is run by private individuals. There needs to be collaboration. There needs to be benchmarks. There need to be different things that will be put in place that will ensure that this will run like a proper tertiary institution. That the students will know that, okay, by the time I'm done with this course, I will be able to be equipped to actually either run my business or work in a fashion business and make it really good.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah, I also want to add something.
We're talking about schools where the owners understand and know fashion, or whosoever is setting up, understands fashion, understands structure, understands all these things is important. So we are assuming that already. So that's why we can now
Okay,
talk.
so let's say, like, they say something, like my father says that often, says, oh, when you say somebody has done something, you say, oh, that's how far you understand, that's how much he knows. And it is a universal thing. You act based on what you know per time. You will not act more than what your level of knowledge, your level of understanding. Exactly. So it starts from an individual. Right now, I know all of us here, we understand the fact that running a business, a fashion business, is not different from running a bank. It's only the fact that your products are different. So will you set up a school, like you set up a bank, like you set up a university? Will you do that? See, you can use a little resource and then it begins to grow bigger and bigger because you have that in your subconscious and you are going for it and you keep pushing hard for it. We've gone to approach Yaba Tech and say, okay, what's it going to take for you to give us your certification from the people who train in my school? It will be our name plus your name, like an affiliate thing, because I know what I'm going to teach my people. The only thing they don't get is they get certificates, right? But my certificate is not as potent as that of Yaba Tech. So I can as well just affiliate with you. If each one can reach one, and each one can teach one. So if you and I, if the 4 or 5 of us here right now, make up our mind that we're going to reach out to one person per time, we're going to reach out to maybe 15 in a class, and we're going to teach them the proper way of running a fashion business, then it begins to grow. Then by then you begin to have people want to say, okay, let me partner with you. We can actually do it like this. See, when your business is better structured, people come in. So if you are right now watching on YouTube, people will come into your business when it is structured. You attract material equivalent to the level of your thinking. Your business will never rise beyond the person who you are, which is your person, your level of understanding, your level of knowledge. When you don't know your accounting, you are using your money, you are eating it, you are just buying materials that you don't need, you're just doing it haphazardly. Nobody would invest in your business. Nobody will come and partner with you. But when you put it together well and you are doing it right, you begin to attract people. I mean, you will even be shocked at what people are seeing, because people are actually seeing. I was in a meeting yesterday, one African Pan-Atlantic meeting. It was mind-blowing. A lot of things that were shared. Just 2 brands, basically 2 brands are like African brands that are that are represented globally in the US, in the UK, in Canada, everywhere. You see them represented globally. Just like two that are rich African brands. I produce for one of them, and you realize it's nothing. They are not doing anything that you are not doing. They are only doing it in a different way. They are only doing it because they are not the photographer. They are not the model. They are not the tailor. They are not the designer. It is properly structured. So you go out there, set your business, rearrange it. If you need to pay, I mean, I'm consulting for a company. They pay as high as 500K for me to help them put structures in their business, train their staff, and do all of that. I will do that for you so that you can position your brand well for the future. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So I think I'll just ask this. So when we talk about technology in fashion, like we know that that's another huge conversation. Just to touch on it a little before we go, do you think we have a chance for tech in fashion in Nigeria? Teju, your mic.
Okay, so yes, I believe that we have a chance in technology in fashion in Africa. Reason being that even outside Africa, even in developed countries and developed continent, it's still something that is still gradually developing. And same with tech, not just fashion, tech in fashion, tech generally. It's still something that everybody is still growing in it. So there's no continent that has it all together. So if the earlier we can start to take advantage of this, the better it will be for us, because it will now position us as a, instead of a consumer, as a producer of that. That's what a lot of tech companies, tech associations are doing. They are trying to teach a lot of tech in Africa to make sure that we have a chance at that table. That's one table that we know that, okay, this table is not yet saturated. Everybody is still learning. Everybody is still trying to play catch up. So if we can do it fast enough, if we can start, but the problem is trying to educate people, because first there's no light, not to talk of how you have access to internet, to data. We have a lot of problems in Africa, in Nigeria especially. But I feel like if people are willing, it comes with willingness. Like, one very big strength of Nigerians is that if we are willing, like, we can persist. Like, it's something that we can do. We've done it with even lesser. We can do it with lesser resources. We get things done. So if we are willing to, like, take advantage of this, people are willing to. That's why I decided to, like, start up this new project that I'm going to be starting after this whole lockdown, for teaching African young designers how to leverage technology in their fashion business, because the world is the entire world is just getting there. So I believe that if we can quickly start to leverage it, it will give us a better playing field. And the truth is, Nigerian designers, even the ones at the top, they are tired of doing things traditionally. It's very tiring. Technology, as in every field, has made life better. So I feel like it's something that we would all enjoy. And the truth is that it's not something that is not impossible in Nigeria. People catch up easily. Most of the tech guys that started from Nigeria, most of them were self-taught. A lot of them were self-taught, because if you even go to school for software engineering, software programming and all the likes, you don't get all the value for your money. So a lot of people actually are self-taught. So I believe that it's something that we can still leverage, but it boils down to education, awareness. The more people are aware that, oh, this is possible, just with other, like, branches of, like, fashion in general, because people just believe that fashion designing is the only aspect of fashion. And if people are more aware that, oh, there's more to it, you can do much more. You can be a tech, you can be a fashion technologist or a textile technologist. You can be a visual merchandiser. You can even, like, you can do so much more than just being the designer. I feel like awareness will go a very, very, very long way, and then people will start to reason, and then people will start to, like, try to do this. In my own small way, I try to, like, discuss a lot about fashion business. Like, I just started my YouTube channel right now, kind of 7th Avenue, where I'm going to be talking a lot about fashion business and what's, like, from what I've seen so far outside Nigeria, and how we can actually use this in our country as well. Of course, taking into taking into consideration what our environment is, because I feel like our environment influences a lot in the way like we think, in the way people think, in also the way people purchase things. But once you have a knowledge of the environment and you also like tweak it, I feel like there will be like success. So I believe that it's possible for fashion tech to thrive in Nigeria. I am utmostly like I'm confident that it's possible. People just have to be aware of the fact a lot of people don't even know what fashion tech is about. They don't even know the fashion technology that is currently available in the world. People don't know what you can even do with fashion and with technology in fashion. So like if people are not aware, they can't even like try to like navigate through that. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for the information that you are ready to give out to people, because of course it is what you know that you do. It is what you know that you begin to think about. So thank you, Teju, for what you are doing. I'm sure that there are a lot of things that when it shows me, I'm like, if you know since the years I know about that thing, because I read far, I read, I Google, I'm just saying, for every opportunity, I'm like every day, I'm getting things from Springwise. They are giving me so many weird things that people are coming up with in technology, in fashion technology, you know. But some people can't even picture it. Like, really, is that possible? But Nigeria is a growing country, like I keep saying, it's a growing. So, and see, Nigerians are smart, super intelligent people. When we see something, we jump on it and make it thrive. So it is only the information, the education people need to know, and then so that they know that this is possible. And so what you are doing, if you need me to come on for anything, I'm going to support.
Yes, please, I would like your contact after this. It would be really nice to collaborate and discuss that.
So thank you very much, everyone. In fact, I learned a whole lot. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on board for this. This is just the beginning. I mean, I wrote on my Instagram that this is the start of something new, and I really can't wait to see how this whole thing will unfold. This is something I intend to, push a whole lot and work on for a very long time till we get to that place we're supposed to get in the Nigerian fashion industry. I won't stop, and hopefully maybe some.
There's one more thing, please, that I want to say before you wrap up.
Okay.
Sorry, because we never know who is watching this. We never know who's stumble on this and watch it someday. I just want to say that fashion industry is a lot informal sector, and that's one of the things that is affecting us in this country. When you have an arm of business that is so informal, our informal sector in Nigeria is larger than our formal sector. If the government can ensure that a lot of people come to the formal sector, they will be able to build things that we'll be able to have a proper sector in fashion. Like, say, for example, there are things that you can access as a fashion business owner that is registered. As at 2013, there were over 100,000 registered businesses in Nigeria, and a lot more registered, because, of course, the 20 people on my street, the 50 people on my street that are doing tailoring, they are not registered. They just come open. They don't even have a bank account. They don't even. So if you see that, if the government begins to reach out to the people who have structure, the other ones who don't have will want to jump on it. That's a way to begin to reach other people. And that's why I believe that if our government can help, it still comes down to government policies. There's little that we can do. There's only so much that we can do as people. We can continue to do something like what our host is doing right now. But then we need the government to also come on and create something for us. Like, there might be a place where only fashion factories are here, clothing factories, apparel production. This is the area where they are, and we are going to supply them electricity in a certain way. There's something we are giving them. We are giving them this grid or something. It begins to make people think, how do I get on that as well? How do I get on that? So people will not just want to stay in their own little way. Well, if you are watching this as the government person or you have a way with them, please help us tell them that that's a little way that you can get more people on board. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was so insightful. So thank you, everybody, for coming again, and thank you. So we've come to the end, and hopefully, hope maybe next time if you have to come here, I hope you would love to come back if your code.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this platform as well.
You.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.